We look back and
forward.
Weeping willows cut the light. A black girl dreams of the Oval Office.
Or of simply cutting tomatoes, slicing peaches to her heart's content.
A black girl dreams of being her own boss.
A great big screen.
Happiness and wealth. Providing for my folks.
Work that loves all my people.
Washing a mother's hair.
A long life.
A lover with wings.
We inhale and stretch our fingers.
Hope is a dangerous thing.
I stopped believing in it the last time the clock stopped ticking on the middle of a Tuesday. I sat for a while and noticed that nothing ruled me but myself. And the ticking, again, it was tragic.
A black girl stands in front of a bookshelf, trying to put her mind back together, a fraction of her heart.
I was born knowing.
I did not ask to be here.
Oh, for Plymouth Rock to have landed on my head.
I did not ask to carry the entire world.
And yet,
in my own yard, I put it down and noticed.
I'm carrying honey, but I do not drop a single jar. I am absolutely immaculate.
I am not immaculate. I'm a living thing who often cannot breathe. In secret in my room, I lay for hours and feel nothing and everything. I sweat.
And still, they do not love me well.
we speak to you through the edges of ache on your shoulders,
the loudness of your mind,
reaching for a cousin
in the absence of kin.
We reach back.
We reach forward.
a delicate dance of life. A black girl cuts tomatoes and protests in
Georgia, ruddy red all over.
We wash.
In 1865, General Sherman burned through the South and declared something called freedom.
A promised land for 200,000 black families from South Carolina down to Jacksonville, Florida. Field order number 15.
Or some other arbitrary number. Didn't matter no how. Ain't ever seen it.
All that land.
And in the wake of broken promises, we carried ourselves full of water and old things.
Somebody's boot on the skin right below our backs. Carried ourselves out from the land we had worked. Land with too much blood caked under her fingernails.
Land of half-eaten bones and blood splattered on grass blades.
Into cities, cobblestone and grit and throats.
And the sour taste of the same old stuff. 1865 ain't mean much, but a bunch of white folks in cheap suits a few years later.
And a whole lot of new laws tell me how to walk, how to talk, how to move. Only difference was now we was free.
Freedom.
All the way down.
Down to Jacksonville.
The Confederacy is no more.
Y'all see them Yankees in blue? They coming to free me and you.
And this is ours now.
We gonna take it? This world? Best storm and sea? Cause in my mind, I always been free.
And what of this body?
Men gaze at lipped hips, blossoming breasts. Girls' blood leaking from uterus. Death everywhere and all this shame. You a woman now. Take this and wrap it around yourself here. Now any man can make you a mother.
And what of this body?
And what of this body? And what of this body?
In 65, General Sherman burned through the South.
And they will tell you that my freedom was found in those flames.
Found in the ash, raised into sun, and bursting into some promised land far from here.
I've never known it. Sherman's promised land. Only the well. Only the water. For me, emancipation came on another rainy Thursday while I was washing clothes. I took a deep breath, and it was 1881.
in a belly that big?
Mabel don't carry no human child in the body stretched that far.
You sure she pregnant? Nancy thinks she just got fat.
Ain't nobody asked.
Don't nobody want to assume.
I think they twins, big as that, boys.
Why boys?
That big?
Babies is babies, Miss Louise.
Let's place a bet.
You wager? What?
If I win, you handle all my wash. 3 days.
Ooh, and if I win, I want that coat you said you'll never give away.
My quilt? Have you washed your mind?
Fair bet.
I want 3 weeks wash.
Alright. I say she just fat.
I say they twins, 2 boys. Good money on it now.
Okay. You fixing the
I
ass?
thought you would.
I'm washing.
I'm drying.
So I can't.
Neither can I.
How we gonna know if we don't ask?
Guess you're gonna have to wait.
9 months to see.
Well,
In 9 months, my birthday will have come and gone. I'll be 23.
mm-hmm.
You think I'll feel older?
One don't start feeling old till they've been in love. Only that's when life starts drawing out and on.
Love. But I've been in love.
And giving it all.
Well, I don't have much to give.
You think it means you haven't been. Not really, anyway. Love is giving all and knowing that your body is the world to give. Got 2 faces like the devil himself. Takes and steals and don't always return what it took. I've known many a men to mistake love for death and death for love.
So you saying
You'll start feeling old once you've seen some death.
that I've been feeling old my whole life? You think this white or gray?
That'd be great, but wash it till you see.
You think this blue or black?
That'd be black. What is up with your eyes today?
Look at the sun for too long, I think. You sure it's black?
What difference it be? Put in the palette for color. See?
Did you ever think that there's anyone in the world with hands like yours?
Just wrinkles and sweat.
Our mama, when she died, said we ought to find the woman with the washing hands. Find the woman with the washing hands so you and Annette can be at peace. She died whispering like she sat down with the Lord himself. My peace I give to you. Not is this world my peace.
Whole city full of women that look like me. Only the Lord could have let you here.
I think it's white. Ain't no average, but I'm sure it's white. The crackers don't ever stop rolling around in the mud, then bring us their wives to clean and make new again.
Nothing new. Where's that boy that came by here days ago? With all that hair and them green eyes.
Came and went. Say he moving somewhere north to find himself a high yellow girl and be free.
He say that to you? Here in my yard?
Yeah, right under that tree. Say he feel like George is crawling into his soul. I say let's be man and wife, make love, be ready to fight against the world. He said he'd rather pass as white.
And what you said?
To hell with him. What man in this world I need that chooses to be white before he chooses to be my man?
Keep talking like that and you'll bear no kin.
Beer kin for what? To work their land, wash their clothes?
To laugh and chase some freedom.
Chasing their freedom, achieving nothing.
Chase like we all chased and been chasing. Ain't nobody nowhere free.
Free or not, to hell with him. I'll find someone who sees freedom in me and I in him. Otherwise, I'll keep my love. And I'll make my own freedom. Just wait and see, Miss Louise. We got more soap in the house, so we use it all.
In the cupboard, right inside. Clothes don't wash themselves. I need water for my basin, Annette.
Just a minute.
What's that you said?
She says just a minute. And you? Absolutely.
I need you to ask Miss Mary for some soap.
We out already?
I made a batch in but what, 2 weeks? Haven't got the 2 hands. I cannot be carrying your load too. Come on now.
A moment, I promise, just one.
What is that sister of yours doing?
Well,
that you got me out here at the crack of dawn with your loads because you're busy trying to make a dress?
Not just any dress. I've been up all night.
I don't see no proof. You sure you didn't fall asleep holding the needle?
I thought it looked good. I thought it was just
You
a
look like you done crawled out the wood. The seams coming all undone at the ends. Girl, you look like a dumb blind raven that got himself lost in the bush.
Shut up, ain't nobody asked you. I was talking to Miss Louise.
It's a start. You just need some help with the stitching. But it's all black because there's something that I'm missing.
It's a funeral dress.
Who died?
How much did all that black fabric cost you? A week's work?
Some like it.
For a funeral that ain't even come?
The day's getting on. Annette, I need you to run down to Miss Mary's and ask her for...
Soap.
Yes, and see if she has any room on her line. My fam's got a whole load of family in town, and our clothes are hardly drying from the lack of sun.
Soap, room on our line, and...
Watch her for my basin.
Okay.
I'll tag along. We gonna need 2 buckets for all this wash.
While you're at it, take these collars down the pattern. Make sure you return my container. Some of these glasswares always disappear in that Patty's kitchen. Hurry back, Annette. I'm almost finished with the first half of your load. If I finish the second half, I'm getting the pay.
How you gonna finish with no soap or basin water?
Washerwomen know how to make do.
Last one to the well is a turkey leg.
Alright, ready, set,
Go. Turkey leg.
chicken wing.
It's a long ways from home.
You in mourning for the water?
The well, it's...
Since dawn. I done made the trip 3 times to check and see.
But it ain't...
Came with the night, I suppose. Maybe the rising sun got thirsty and then swallowed up all the water in one full go.
Miss Louise needs...
All our baskets spilling over.
How we gonna wash or drink?
There's the creek.
Water's murky, it's miles away.
Have to do.
And the clothes.
Whole town dry. Folks standing outside with their hands up.
The city's getting ready for that con exposition.
Uh-huh.
So, what to do with no clean clothes?
White folks gonna have to deal with some dirt?
Leanne, you ever think about what it would look like at the bottom of the well? How the sky would look from so far below the earth, like a mirror bathed in blue.
I think it looked like water, and it feel like sky and darkness. Don't matter much. Ain't nobody living long at the bottom of a well. Ain't no feeling worth speaking of.
Being trapped like that, or being under all that, like at any moment the sky might just lean in and decide to eat you alive. How much wash this week?
Too much?
Shoulder still hurting you?
Uh-huh. It's hot today.
Got me sweating all through my dress.
You wearing a funeral dress to walk to the well in the middle of a Georgia July?
Leanne, you think you'd remember dry ground?
What's all this nonsense this morning?
If you were trapped in a well and all you could see was sky, do you think you'd remember the ground?
There ain't no memory after falling in the well. Ain't no remembering. You're dead. That's dead. Falling in a well like getting eaten alive by a pack of hounds. Like forever forgetting your own face. Like trying to scream and just hearing silence.
Morning. So I told him, I said, what am I supposed to do with this? This ain't even half what you said you was gonna pay me.
And what he said?
He just smirked and said I should make it work.
How are you supposed to make it work on 10 cents for 12 pounds of clothes?
That's exactly what I told him. Say, how am I supposed to make it work with something as measly as this? Man leaned outside the door and smiled real big and said I should be grateful for getting what I'm getting.
Let me guess, he said, at least I'm paying you.
Said I ought to be happy right before he closed the door in my
It
face.
ain't right. Happened to me last week. Can't nobody live off these wages?
And then what?
So I opened the door. I snatched the basket from his hand. I threw all his clean clothes and his dime into the bush in the front of his house. I did.
You a mess.
You heard me right. I told him to. Said I quit. He jumped up so fast, yelling that dreadful word, talking about how I ain't getting another client to Kingdom Come, and he'd make sure of it. I can still hear him yelling a mile down the road.
And then what?
I went on Washer Patty. What you mean what? He ain't my only client. I got plenty more. I'm a washerwoman for a reason, so I don't gotta sit under no cracker gaze for the whole day. Well, he tells me to sweep that spot there, or scrub that spot there, or asks me to pick up the dustpan so he can get an extra look. I don't do this work so some old Yankee man can pay me half of what I'm due and said I should be grateful for getting what I'm getting. I've got clients from here to Stone Mountain talking about at least he's paying me.
It's the same for us all, washing all day for what little we get.
The maids get paid more. Why I gotta sacrifice my livelihood to get a little protection over my body?
Talking like that, you gonna find yourself in a ditch somewhere with no clients at all.
The local found me in a ditch. Hell, I died. Think I'm afraid of dying? I've seen death everywhere. Death probably lives at the bottom of that well.
What you think he looked like?
Why is your sister wearing that funeral dress, Loretta?
I've been talking like that since I've been here. Annette, something wrong with you?
What you all think Death looked like?
He probably looked like a white man with a beard. Probably looked like Jesus.
Now you going too far.
All I'm saying is he ain't black. His skin ain't like this. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
It ain't nothing.
The water's gone.
What?
The well's empty and it smells like something rotten and sad.
What you mean the water's gone?
Hold me up. Somebody let me see.
Dry. It's dry. And there's something inside.
What you mean something?
What you mean
Somebody
dry?
help me see.
Y'all know Miss Reeves?
Who don't know Miss Reeves?
I was walking down her street last night on my way home and I saw her daughter run around looking like she was hollow. Her face all ghost-like and ghastly. She grabbed my arms and asked me if I seen her mother. Started tugging at my skirts. Say she ain't come home the night before. Say she went out to pick up some clothes from the Jacksons and ain't come home. Staring at me like she was trying to remember something important she had forgotten. Then she lowered her head and went on down the street. Then God come to me and pulled me to the fabric shop down near the main road. Had me back 10 yards of silk black. Say make a dress. Say make a dress. Say get ready. And now we're waking up to a dry well and there's something inside smelling like something rotten inside.
He wouldn't pay her.
Hadn't paid her in months and weeks.
He threatened her with games, with words.
And all kinds of violence. And then there was her daughter.
Carrying baskets on her head and arms, broad shoulders at 16.
She encounters him on the road and he... An unspeakable thing.
Miss Reeves never had the need to hide the weapon.
Wash bloody blade or muffle sound of pistol blown through
They
skulls.
say she killed quietly. Berries from the vine.
They say she picked the darkest of berries until her thumb stayed black.
Baskets full of black hair.
They say he died in the sitting room.
Red face, clutched throat.
Wide blue eyes try to drink the light in before the dark.
Like they already seeing hell maybe.
For the sky swallowing them whole.
He wouldn't pay her. And pay her in months and weeks.
He threatened her with waves, with words, and all kinds of violence.
And where is this body?
I ain't seen nothing unusual. He just passed out cold. Heart attack maybe. Probably drinking too much hard liquor. Probably got too scared of his own face in the mirror. Hand on the whip. What's the matter, mister? Afraid of accidentally whipping your own self? I've been here washing and washing all day. See these hands?
Miss Reeves made pies for God himself. Sweet and full, with the crust like something fine. She had magic hands and eyes that saw everything. Hands capable of making a brand new world.
Nobody will play God with my kid, with my heart, my money, or my time.
He wouldn't pay her. And then there was her daughter.
Girl's body, shattered wound like somebody burst in the force open. Like tree parts flying in an open field. Like a question. Like some question.
Mama, how you get the crust that tastes like heaven? You add something special to it? You been there? Heaven? You seen God, Mama? What he look like? What he look like?
And when he paid her half of what he owed, she carried the pie in gratitude.
She blames herself, as do all mothers, in the wake of an impossible world. She takes a stance of a fighter in the wake of the impossible, powerless grief.
You better fight. You better kill him before you let a man take you. You better pick some berries. You better scald his skin with boiling water.
They say Miss Reeves came from a long line of women who did not stop fighting against the world. Women who spoke into voids despite the harnesses of their own tongues, like,
Let there be light.
Like, let light birth daggers and swords to strike.
We pull her up, hot sun in my eyes, dripping. And suddenly, there's water.
There's water.
We got water.
I wonder how long until we all end up at the bottom of wells.
Resolve.
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 Resolve. Resolve.
Resolved. The washerwomen of Atlanta, Georgia are paid $4 to $8 a month.
Working till their backs are gnarled tree roots or knotted branches jutting out like tumors.
The washwomen of Atlanta carry heavy pails of water on their backs from the wells.
And no one listens or responds.
When the buckets grow too heavy,
Because washerwomen know how to make do.
Resolve. Washerwomen's eyes burn from looking at the sun for too long.
Washerwomen work till their hands are made of shriveled skin, until their feet hurt from standing all day, or their limbs no longer feel the hot iron of the water boiling.
on our way to the markets, we see signs for the
International Cotton Exposition.
Come, look at our mill.
We have come so far since the Battle of Atlanta.
Help our great city become the industrial beacon on this box of... They use a word for us that has transformed 1,000 times.
In 1,000 lives.
New meanings now.
And yet, still for me,
It stings.
It is 1881, but we still hide in the backs of houses washing clothes for their guests, scrubbing floors saying, yes sir, no sir,
And it's just as fine as long as we can't be seen. As long as we can't be heard or understood.
or human.
and they can bask in all their self-righteousness because we free? Hell, that's all we wanted, right? We free?
$48 a month for a job that never ends.
We pull her up from the water, dripping.
Somebody branded her skin.
Took a hot iron to her skin.
Somebody painted the outside of her house in dripping red.
Y'all ain't free in Georgia.
Organize.
That's what they was talking about at the well.
Hand me the soap, will you? Y'all talking too much nonsense.
It ain't nonsense, Miss Louise.
Get to your clothes. Y'all have lost the whole day talking about organizing.
They're calling it the Washing Society. They're holding a meeting tomorrow night for anyone who's interested. Say that if we can demand control over our work, then maybe we can demand control over our bodies. Say they don't want to see anybody put up in wells anymore because they say no. Miss Louise.
Ain't nobody in this house interested.
They talking about something.
They talking about something that's fixing to get us killed.
Miss Louise,
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Exactly. You don't know a damn thing about how this world is run. You barely know how to wash delegates. How the hell are you going to try to plan some kind of revolution?
They asked us to relay the message. Say they wanted you there specifically.
Me? What they want me there for?
You got the most time in this. You're one of the oldest ones.
They want to put someone's head in a noose and they figure they ought to spare the one with the least amount of time left.
What I meant by that is, you know how these sort of things work, Miss Louise. You know how it feels to wash all week for what little we get paid. You know what your limbs feel like. Not to mention, you got a mighty powerful voice.
A voice they got all the power to cut down and strangle.
One of the strongest voices I've ever heard. This work don't ever end, Miss Louise. We pick up the wash on Monday, and from there it don't ever end. First it's the washing, then the drying, then the ironing. Then Saturday we gotta deliver it all over the city. Sunday is the only day we get to breathe. And
I know my own work schedule, Loretta.
Do you know we ought to have a say in it?
A couple minutes at the well and y'all are talking like you're prepared to die for it.
We've talking like we've heard something hopeful, and we ain't the only ones. With almost 15 women down by the well whispering.
And each one more empty-headed than the next.
What you gotta lose? Some bear wash bin and some last
My life!
And ours! And our children's! I ain't planning on bringing the baby into a world like this!
My life's work has been these clothes. 12 years back became you girls. I paid my dues to the world. Don't got no debt in that regard.
Ain't nobody asking you to commit. This just
None of us owe nothing to this world. The world owes us blood, flesh, breath, and light.
And I'll be praying that she don't kill you in the fight. The world don't make no good on her debts. Most people die owned by the world.
I'd rather die fighting, Miss Louise. I've got all the respect for the way you've raised us up, but the freedom I seek ain't found for free. It's 15 babies. She got 15 babies and 20 pounds of load per night. Cause a husband like to drink and the white people don't care about 15 babies. Mama, can I get a new pair of shoes for the school year? Matt's got a hole in the hill, so when it rains, the water gets inside it.
Mama, I need more pencils for my lessons.
Mama, I need a winter coat.
Mama, I'm hungry.
Hungry? You just ate.
Mama, I'm thirsty. The well is just around the corner. Go get some. There ain't no time to sleep or to think even. Just time to wash, to hang, to dry, iron, and wash again.
We working a full-time job and still getting paid less than a banker.
Or the high and mighty woman in the mansions near the river.
Or even our husbands.
15 babies. By the time the sun breaks through, Mary's youngest one is already on her hip.
Tied there with a scarf like the way my own mother taught me how to tie a child securely.
The green eyes of its father.
Eyes that make everybody else lean in real close to his face and whisper to it out the side of their own mouth.
You better watch this one close. It got a cavern between its legs, and them eyes will make white men swoon.
Mary shakes her head and purses her lips. She keeps her girl in the sun often because the sun makes you dark and darkness makes you whole.
And being black is hard enough without being something else too, without being the offspring of some green-eyed white
I
man.
decide that whenever she's old enough to ask about the color of her eyes,
She'll tell her that she is a child of the earth,
And that her father is the grass and the leaves.
about how her skin resembles that of her grandmother, a queen named the sun. Resolved.
RESOLVED.
We hold a meeting at the church,
And the church is hot as hell because it's July.
and it's Atlanta, and everybody's sweating.
One woman passes out on the carpet and starts screaming about how she's seen the light.
She said God is a Negro, and the only man in the room is the pastor, carrying on.
We proceed.
resolved.
The washwomen of Atlanta want respect and autonomy, higher
I
pay.
just want to be able to move without feeling the crackers hand in my thigh.
I can't even go to my mistress's house at night, because men standing waiting on their porch for me, and
I just want my girls washing clothes.
Don't nobody know what to say to that. So.
My whole life is this work. How come I can't get $1 for a dozen pounds? At least we ain't slaves no more.
For 400 years! They ain't give us nothing.
What does any of this have to do with clothes?
All we do is wash. Our bodies are made of wash. Maybe if we demand to be paid what we deserve, maybe we can also demand to walk the streets without some man reaching for our hips.
We gotta start somewhere.
Strike!
We can't do no strike. We got whole families.
You don't want your girls washing clothes, right?
Strike! Something about a union.
A union.
Strike!
There's 20 of us now. There could be thousands more tomorrow.
We ain't got that kind of power. We're just a couple of
Strike!
If y'all are doing this, y'all cannot be doing it without a plan.
Miss Louise.
I've seen too many people die. Do not stop y'all from killing yourselves. If you're going to do this, you're going to need more than 20 women. You're going to need the support of every washerwoman in the city.
Can we do that?
Depends on what you got to lose.
15 babies.
Now, I'm here to be nobody's leader. I'm just saying that if y'all are going to do this, y'all got to do the price. They ain't going to listen unless you find some way to take some away that they've taken for granted.
Like our bodies.
Like our bodies. Like our work.
Is it possible?
If God's on the side of oppressed.
Outside of the church, the woman carried out by the pastor lets out a scream and we jump.
God is as black as me. RESOLVED.
Resolved!
Still in that dress.
Wearing it till we get higher pay. Or Miss Reeves rises up out the grave. Whatever comes first. You up early.
You say that every Sunday, like I ain't always up with the sun.
Like you think the world ain't about to wait.
Cause it ain't.
Ain't no clothes to wash today.
It's still a morning. Still a rising sun. Being is a job and a half.
Miss Louise,
Yes.
can you tell me about my mama again? Loretta said I asked too much and she tired of telling.
And I told you that I didn't know her well. Just seen her in passing, not like washerwomen do.
But what was she like? How she walked? She bowed low or raised her head up way up high?
Every Sunday, it's the same questions with you.
Sunday's her day of remembrance. Like maybe if enough people remember even the tiniest thing, maybe she won't disappear as fast as she is from her own mind.
She walked like she owned the world. But she know full well that that world owned her. Walking like she was just carrying those two irreconcilable things at the same time. Like that weight was just pressing down on her shoulders. Your mama had real broad shoulders, Ned. Oh, and her laugh, you could hear it all the way down the street.
Like Loretta.
Like Loretta, like you. Y'all both got the loudest mouths I've ever heard. Your father.
Not on her day of remembrance. Don't want to hear about him on her day of remembrance. Loretta said he ain't loved her, or he loved her with his fist. Ain't room for nothing but true love on her day of remembrance.
She was real pretty, Ned. A lot like you. Had your same real thick hair.
Can't even get the color through.
From the times I'd seen her, I'd say so. Oh, but she did not care either. She would walk around with her hair sticking out every which way. Grapevine say one time somebody asked her about it, and oh, did she curse them all the way down the street. Talk about how her head, her womb, and her hair were something sacred. Wasn't nobody going to make them disappear because they were afraid of them.
Sound like Loretta.
Let me help you fix up the dress. If you're going to be walking around looking like a crow, the least you could do is not have trains trailing around the road with you. Hold your arms out and stay still.
Miss Louise,
Mm-hmm.
there's something wrong with me, huh?
Every Sunday you ask me that, and every Sunday I say, ain't nothing wrong with you today, tomorrow, or yesterday. You're carrying weight. Everybody's carrying weight. You just handle it differently. That don't make nothing wrong.
God be right there when she's talking to me, like she my best friend just chatting away. Ain't no spirit like they say at church. Ain't no ghost.
What's she wearing when you see her?
My mama's close sometimes, and yours some others. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes she just like to be free. I think that's funny. God wanted to be free. Miss Louise,
Mm-hmm.
What made you come to the church? What made you change your mind?
I've seen too many people die to not stop y'all from taking your own lives. Hold still, darn thread. There we go. Perfect.
Happy day of remembrance, Mama.
I was 7. Denmark Vesey, up by his neck. He died quick. Death of a free black man. Quick. He was planning to kill a bunch of white folk. Overturn slavery with some stolen guns. 4 bodies went up next to Vesey's. 5 bodies stripped of everything but loincloth, dangling from 5 trees. My hand and my mama's. I was 7. I still remember her gaze. Stop all that crying! Stop all that crying! Stop all that crying. They left the bodies hanging there for a week. Denmark and the others. A warning to the rest of us. Some like, this is what happens whenever you try to rebel. This is what happens whenever y'all step out of line. This is what. We kill you before you even get the chance. You see these bodies? These are your fates. A week later, my mama braided my hair and hummed something low and enraged. A week after that, she was gone. They had hung 22 of Vesey's followers at once. All slaves. Kicked a platform out from underneath their feet. Then molasses. Slow. Death of a slave. Slow. A week later, I was sold for $15 to rural Georgia. Stop all that crying. Stop all that crying. Stop all that crying. Sometimes at night, I still dream of my mama, hanging there. Sometimes that dream is just her swinging in a breeze that I can't control. And sometimes in that dream, her body becomes a sheet, and I just rip it down and thrust it into my basin. Other times, her body burns, and the ashes get everywhere, in my hair, in my clothes, and I can't get them out. No, I can't get them out. No, not for nothing. And then I just spend the rest of that dream wondering what would have happened if Vesey had only succeeded in tearing all of this down.
I'm here to talk to you about the Washington Society. There's 20 of us now, but we grow on every day. Can I count on you to...
I'm sorry to bother you then. Have a nice evening.
Excuse me? No, I'm not asking for no money. Well, we have been considering what that would look like.
We figured that there's strength in numbers. Without a collective voice, we won't get nothing done.
But what of the children? Yes, I understand, but...
Yes, we considered our safety, and we think that the work of this society is important enough to...
Get off your porch.
Excuse me?
We understand your fear, but in order for this movement to succeed, we need the voice of every washwoman in the city.
There's 20 of us now, but we're growing more every day.
Every day.
We grow. Well, there's 20, but we're hoping to get...
I understand. I have 15 children. Of course I understand.
Forget you two then!
So we'll see you on Tuesday.
This Tuesday at the church?
Thank you for your time.
A quarter of the houses in 3 days.
A quarter of the watching woman in 3 days.
400 say they'll think about it.
400 say they can't risk it.
50 say they plan on being in attendance.
50.
We ain't got no chance of getting to 1,000.
So we keep moving. We return to the same houses we already visited. Mary!
I ain't telling no more wide-eyed black mothers that they ought to join their fight. They already got enough to fight for.
This ain't gonna work if we ain't got every washerwoman on board.
This ain't gonna work if all the washerwoman's children are strung up on trees.
Mary,
They have to survive. Who gets to make a movement?
We all do.
Ain't nothing gonna convince them.
What convinced you?
I want better for my daughters.
Then we gotta shift our angle.
But
We
Tab,
return to the same houses we already visited and ask them what they want and negotiate what we need.
Resolved.
Week 2.
Tuesday comes when you're ready. 20 of us leading at the church.
We set the standard.
No wash until fair wages.
$1 per dozen pounds.
70 women in attendance.
We plan to meet every night.
3 churches open up their doors.
we covered the other half of the city.
And word starts to spread fast.
So you
We
heard?
meet every night.
No wash until fair wages.
$1 per
What
dozen.
you mean you still saying no? I'm taking no for an answer.
Our strike cannot be successful if we don't have the support of every.
Forget you today.
And our slogan.
If they with us, they against us.
You 22 with no stakes in the world arguing what women twice your age ought to be afraid of?
And in week 2, we've got 2,000.
2,000.
Loretta, Annette, and Patty. Y'all walk with the younger crowds. We'll walk with the older ones. There's different ways to do this thing.
Week 3, same thing.
Door to door, day and night, every house.
Every woman.
Yes, I am aware I visited yesterday.
No, ma'am, this ain't no joke. We're in this until we get what we deserve. We're providing childcare at the meetings.
And pulling together what little we got to provide meals at the church for those of us who don't got the means to survive on a strike like this.
You either with us or against us.
We ain't afraid to pay you a visit.
I better see your face there. I've been walking the streets of Atlanta for 2.5 weeks, trying to convince 3,000 women that they deserve better, and I'm tired. We deserve better. They ain't going to get us nowhere. There are strength in numbers. So if we got one washerwoman hiding in her backyard washing some crackers' clothes, she'll ruin the movement. She'll destroy all this we've been working for. I ain't fight for nothing. We are here. Let's move.
Some of us visit houses at night.
Wake up women from their sleep.
Tell them we ain't asking again.
This ain't no game.
We're up to 2,500. We have nightly meetings at the church.
No wash until fair wages.
No wash until fair wages.
6 of us are arrested for disorderly conduct and quarreling.
And in week 3, we filled 6 churches with 3,000 women.
Convince 3,000 women to leave baskets of wet clothes on white folks' steps. Georgia's death sentence.
No wash until fair wages. $1 per dozen pounds. Resolved.
You finish your chores.
There's better things to do than washing some dishes, Miss Louise.
Really? My many years on this earth would have fooled me some. Seems to me folks needs to eat, folks needs dishes to eat. Ain't no movement can be built without bodies. Now sit on down.
What we gotta talk about?
How I'm your elder and that will not be forgotten because you angry at the world.
It ain't my fault the world was born hating on me. And it ain't my fault I can't see it.
You don't think I'm angry?
You got your ways of showing it.
What you know about my ways, Loretta?
I know. You ain't seen your own love hop off a train to the north because he want to be free. Behold, take off this skin. I know you ain't seen your own father make you an orphan because he was so wrapped in some braids. And I know I couldn't have or would have been a slave my whole life.
You gotta take them blinders off. You run around here acting like the world hates you. You won't see the love standing right here in front of you, staring you down. Ain't no movement can be built on hate for your own self. When you create that wall between you and I, like slave and free, like you better because you sitting on the heels of some grand revolution, you're forgetting your own face. You are forgetting that you come from slaves who broke eggs in the kitchen and lost tools in the shed. Slaves like Miss Reeves' mama who picked the darkest of berries. Slaves like my mama who was lynched trying to rebel.
I didn't know
We
that.
have never been against you. We have been for you this whole entire time. This is my body too now. You do not get to hold no monopoly on rage because you think you're the only one who knows a thing about fighting back.
Sorry.
I'll see you later. At the meeting, you can sleep at the church. Girl gets big enough to try to speak words that'll turn me back into a slave, she old enough to take care of her own.
From the press, 24 July 1881, the new steam laundry. The washerwomen of Atlanta have struck for very unreasonably high prices, and a number of our most substantial citizens will at an early day start an extensive steam laundry. The capacity of the new laundry will be equal to the wants of the whole city. From 50 to 100 smart Yankee girls experienced in the business will be employed in running it at the very moderate charge of, say, 20 to 30 cents per dozen.
20 to 30 cents?
That's what it says.
That's not something we can compete with.
It ain't nothing, we just keep moving.
Patty.
A bunch of smart Yankee girls, they serious?
You 20 to 30 cents.
It's like working for free.
You think any of them even know how to wash delicates? We've been doing this our whole lives. Can no steam laundry compete? Smart Yankee girls probably never even got their hands wet. Probably never even made soap or carried water from the well.
They can learn.
They can learn what we've been doing our whole lives at an early age.
We got too many mouths to feed to keep this up. I ain't got enough food in my refrigerator to be talking about some revolution.
Why can't y'all see that it's a bluff? All this talk, they can't start no steam laundry to compete. They wouldn't last a second. They just trying to get us to quiet down.
So what are our options?
We keep it going and risk ending up without jobs. We end it all and all our progress is for nothing.
Or we confront these Yankee girls and call their bluff.
And then dead in the process?
They ain't gonna kill me. They'd have to fight.
And they win. It ain't them you should be worried about. It's the men who they crawl to talking about the Negroes who confronted them.
Oh, ain't no Yankee girl gonna be me at washing no clothes.
Right.
I'd rather die and go to heaven first.
We've come so far. Giving up now is...
An act of survival. We keep going much longer and they'll have no other choice but to burn us to the ground.
We ain't the only ones talking about striking or thinking about our rights.
What you mean?
I heard at the market, the cooks and the maids, the nurses and hotel workers, they all considering striking because of us. If we give up now, we ain't just killing the washwomen's movement.
I ain't doing this for no revolution. I'm doing this for my babies. I want to be able to breathe. Do you know what it's like to look at hungry babies? Do you know what it's like to be hungry?
We all do.
But to see your children starving, hollow
So we
eyed,
make ourselves into shields.
What you mean?
Those of us who are younger, we put our bodies on the line. We stand in the front. We tell these Yankee girls that these clothes have been our blood and our sweat. And we dare them to try to hold what we've been holding for what they say they'll be paid. We'll call their bluff. Mary, Miss Louise, Leanne, and all the others with children to raise. Y'all hold up the rear. Make sure folks still getting fed. Make sure no babies is getting hungry. There's different ways to do this thing.
My mama, she ain't know nothing but cooking for white folks and cleaning for white folks and washing their babies. She get up every morning because she didn't want to lose her job, even though her mistress still beat her like she a slave, because Mr. Ross look at her like she got something sweet. She get up because she got to get up, because everybody always got to get the hell up and keep moving, keep moving. She's standing around here scrubbing floorboards, dusting lampshades, coming to keep her own home, washing my daddy's clothes, carrying water on the well on her back, working like this for a measly $4 she get paid. We can't stop. First time my mama ever smiled at me. First time was when I told her about this. She said, Patricia, You are the light of the world.
On our way to the market, we see signs for the
International Cotton Exposition.
Come look at our mill.
We done come so far since the Battle of Atlanta.
help our great city become the beacon of the South on the backs of
Negroes.
It's 1881 and slavery's over, but we still hatting in the back of their houses washing their floors for they get scrubbing the floors saying, yes, sir.
No, sir.
And it's just fine as long as we can't be seen.
As long as we can't be heard or understood.
Or human.
Message to the smart Yankee girls who want to start a steam laundry.
You get yourselves ready for a lot of clothes.
Be ready for thousands of pounds of wash.
Cause we ain't washing another rich woman's bloomers until we get fair wages.
Be ready for your hands to shrivel and your shoulders to burn.
Be ready, cause our exposition requires clean clothes.
Cause white folk can't be respectable without standing on our backs.
There's a million of us. And more coming.
And we are the light of the world.
Excuse me? Is Miss Thompson around? I'm from the Washington Society and I just wanted to talk to you about... So you've heard of us then? I've got some handbills with more information about our movement. I would like it if you could... Yes, I'm aware. You're one of the only washerwomen in this whole city. We all trying to stay alive. This ain't a game for us, Mrs. Thompson. Now, just a moment, give me just a moment and I'll explain what I mean. There's no reason for that kind of language now. Now, a group of Yankee girls is trying to start a steam laundry, and our movement has become even more important. If every single washerwoman stopped washing, there's no telling what we could accomplish. There's talk of other industries rising up too. This could be a new start for working class Southern women. Look, Miss Thompson, I know we ain't the same. I wouldn't dare say otherwise. You white and I'm black. And between us stand this void big enough to hold all kingdom come. You don't wear this skin. When you wash, you get paid more because they ain't afraid your flesh will stain their clothes. But have you seen our hands? The cracks in our palms? If you wanted, you could trace them to see we standing somewhere together. Map leads to the same place. We both using soap and beer barrels and spend hours taking water from the well. If you strip this all down to bone and muscle, you'd see definition in the same places. I don't hate you, Mrs. Thompson. None of us ever have. That lie was built for moments like this. We have the same enemy, Mrs. Thompson. Just think about it, will you? Okay. Okay.
Look!
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 3,000 watchwoman strikers from all over Atlanta.
Read all about it, read all about it.
Resolve!
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 Resolve. The cooks of Atlanta, Georgia are paid almost nothing per month, working until their entire beings are made of recipes for foods that they could never eat.
They scrape plates, clean it into paper bags for families at home.
I ain't take what isn't owed to me. All the work I do, and they're talking about stealing some scraps of fried chicken and leftover cornbread. I am two mothers, two beings. I'm the rock of that household. This is mine. And no one complains when we've got to answer from the back.
Cause cooks know how to make do. Resolve.
Resolved. Resolved. The porters of Atlanta, Georgia spend all day being invisible, tipping hats to white folk who could not see their eyes, dancing with the grants that are really nasty for all the grit they had in backs of throats.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir, I got your bag, sir. Uh-huh, I'll hold the door for you. Sir, yes, sir. You wonder about the state of my people? Well, we just swell. Just swell. I ain't got nothing to complain about. I'm just grateful for my job. I don't really get too much into politics, sir. This be your door? Sir, if you could tip me, that'd be...
We cannot open mouths to show the grit, the truth.
And at night, these porters strip uniform from bodies and cram themselves to sleep. Resolved.
Resolved.
The maids of Atlanta, Georgia lack autonomy for our own bodies working in the homes of white men. Stolen, again, handed.
This woman come from the north to interview us. The maids start asking me questions like,
What's it like being you here in the South? In the same land your family slaved? I'm sure it must be so hard. As a woman, I know.
I want to ask her if she knows what it feels like to give your body to someone else's babies while your own starve at home. I want to ask her if she knows what it feels like to never be believed. I want to ask her if she knows what it feels like to scream when no one's listening. And still, I must clean the house.
We rising up. All over. I know you up with the sun. Brought news from the press for Annette to read.
You find a place to stay?
Yeah. The church said I'm welcome as long as this thing goes on. After that, I'll have to see. I mean what I said. I hope you know that.
I know.
I was just so mad. I forgot who I was, where I was, and all that you've done raising us up, even though we didn't have a mama.
I know.
Sorry, don't take back anything.
You don't.
But I'll say it anyways.
Haven't been knowing what to do with my hands without the wash.
Annette told me you sit up here and look at the sky. Work on your garden, make up songs.
Wondering what the world might be like if I didn't have to spend it washing some crackers' clothes. What that cloud look like to you?
A rooster, or one of them dinosaur things they teach you in grammar school.
I see my mama. Do you see that in there, pointing out like it's a barrel? Looks like she's holding a gun. For the first time in my life, I'm seeing her hold.
There ain't no woman there, Miss Louise. I see a rooster, or something with 4 legs.
Where do you see something with 4 legs?
There. Follow my hand. See?
Oh. I guess these clouds could be playing tricks, huh? Being all these different things at once.
I used to thinking that was something else, but I was looking at the sky.
She got her own ways of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you'd be?
Huh?
You could be anything at all. No rules holding me back. No dollar signs everywhere saying this the cost of breathing in this world.
I don't think I can imagine that, Miss Louise.
Just try. Close your eyes and try.
I'd be able to fly. I'd be able to take off and soar above all the whales, all the cotton, and all the land. I'd have a knapsack full of jars with the sweetest honey you could ever imagine. And I deliver it all over for you.
Morning.
You were serious about that dress?
Common sense with me and God.
Just come in the paper, read it. Says Washington Society. Don't know the rest.
Read it aloud.
26 July, 1881. At the next meeting of the City Council, an ordinance will be offered requiring all washwomen to pay a business tax or license.
How much?
You won't believe it.
How much?
$25.
20?
Or 50.
Are you reading that right? Are you sure that you're reading that right?
It says it right here in black and white. $25 to $50.
For joining an association.
That's what it says.
It's the same story. It's another bluff.
Mary, we
Y'all
don't have...
all know how big this is going. Okay, this ain't some small thing we invented at the well.
Where do we find all that money?
I ain't got nothing to add.
None of us do.
Y'all ain't hearing me. You think that they can move without us? You think that they can find a replacement workforce as large enough and as loyal enough as the black workers of Atlanta? You think that they can find enough cooks, porters, maids, nurses, washerwomen in time for their little exposition? We have all the time in this. They can't even breathe without our consent.
So what do we do when they pass the ordinance?
Tell them that we have all the means by which to pay it.
We have everything to lose. None of us can afford it if the ordinance passes. And then what? They have us all in jail?
It's called putting on a mask. We're experts at it. 3rd of August, 1881. Letter to Mayor of Atlanta. Dear Sir.
We, the members of our society, are determined to stay to our pledge and make extra charges for washing too.
And we have agreed and are willing to pay $25 or $50 for licenses as a protection so we can control the washing for the city.
We can afford to pay these licenses, and we will do it before we forget it.
We will have full control of the city, washing at our own price.
Don't forget this. We hope to hear from your council Tuesday morning. We mean business this time or no wash. Yours respectfully, the Washing Society.
Refusing to answer to any more questions about how and who helped you, and what does it mean to be colored and tired and working and black, and what of your children? How do you imagine yourself caring for children when you're so busy striking? Well, you just ought to keep to the clothes and to the house and to the babies. That's the work that needs doing. And why is this so urgent now anyway? I'm refusing to answer to any more questions that allude to our inadequacy. It is to say, in so many words, beneath me.
Been 9 months.
Weeks wash.
Your best quill.
Nobody knew what happened to Miss Mabel.
She stopped showing up to our nightly meetings. Everybody was still striking and she just disappeared. Nobody had seen her.
Stories say some white man tried to beat her, tried to kill her babies.
Must have been boys, big as that.
Stories say they arrested her and took her to jail and beat her to death. Or something like that. Something.
Every couple of months, somebody comes back from somewhere in the countryside talking about how they saw Miss Mabel working on a chain gang. Say she got a scar across the side of her face. Say she got the same old mean look.
Say, they ain't never seen no babies. Say that she don't talk no more.
People say they cut out her tongue.
I don't believe that. She would kill a man before she ended up on a chain gang.
Somebody washed up on the side of the river and people started talking to her.
I wonder if she joined Miss Reeves, laying at the bottom of the well, drinking the sun.
Or suffocating under the sky.
Or trying to remember how to breathe.
I wonder if she's still fighting under all that water, trying to scratch her way up to the top.
The movement keeps moving. It's got to. That's how things go around here. There's too many dead to count all the shadows in the tree, so we stop counting. Keep praying and live for her.
I hand over my quilt. First decoration in your own home.
I'll handle your wash. 2 months.
And we squared away.
They talking about how it was some white man who staged this here revolution. They got jokes. That's all that is. Because I'm recalling the hours we spent in front of hearths and dinner tables, our backsides sore from church pews, calculating how this here strike might turn out. And I'm recalling the absence of any white men in our presence. Hell, the absence of a single white face in the crowd of blackness that was us. They talking about how it was some white man who staged this here revolution. They acting like we are not capable, like a bunch of Georgia washerwomen can't think for their own selves or construct a path for their own liberation. Like we ain't got minds, just hands for washing and bodies for taking and wombs for giving and never owning. Like we ain't got shit but these goddamn clothes. We spent hours in the time we had between sunset and sunrise washing clothes and making plans in the dirt. Making plans with sticks because we couldn't afford no paper or no pencil. Making plans that transcended our bones. Making plans over pots of hot stew and pans of fried eggs and bacon. We made plans while our husbands lay atop us or while caring for crying babies. We was planning this here revolution since before they came screaming of freedom with their flapping lips and carpet bags like we ain't got no hands in which to build it of our own accord. We was staging this here revolution since before our freedom was a matter of concern or interest to any man far from here. We was breaking eggs and slipping arson in coffee since before some man in a tall hat decided we mattered. This is our revolution, and they full of all types of jokes.
There is still death dangling in places it shouldn't be.
Shadows of our own bodies arranged around the room.
Haunting backwards and dancing around dinner plate.
Knocking things over while we are asleep.
And we cannot sleep, because all this noise everywhere in
Mabel, Miss Reeves.
My mother.
Sometimes we hear someone singing, and it tears at the fabric of our souls.
And we can't do nothing but breathe from the diaphragm. Up, 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 and release.
What of this body?
What of this body?
What of this body?
Has it become ours yet?
Has it become whole yet?
Can we be human yet?
Can we be black and magic and woman yet?
Or are all these shadows just for nothing?
What of this body?
What of this body?
What of this body?
There is a collective breath between the 6 of us. A sigh and a scream inside. And a flash of blinding white. Burning. Something burning under our tongues.
Triumph is a shower of light, sharp and potent in the throat, unexpected and wonderful, all too transient. It shatters quick and we fill new basins.
Let water run over our fingers and wander.
Dream.
Scheme.
Imagine.
How can we catch black girls falling to the bottom of wells?
Hey.